Welcome to today's lessons in marriage, and today I want to talk about the habit of complaining and blaming in marriage. No one loves to be around people who blame. No one loves to be around people who constantly complain. It is good to complain, or you can complain once or twice, but being a perpetual or a habitual complainer, no one would love to be around you. The essence of marriage is to enjoy the union, to enjoy each other's company. But when we constantly complain and we constantly blame uh, each other for this or for that, then the gap between the two of us, or the two of you, starts to build. And the more you complain and blame each other, the gap continues to grow and you continue to drift apart. And as you drift apart, your marriage is at risk of breaking. The children of Israel were in the desert for 40 years just because of complaining. They were meant to cross the desert in 40 days, but they crossed it in 40 years because of constant complaining and not looking at the blessings, not counting the blessings that God has given them. We wonder why things are not working out well. We wonder why you plan this and it does not work out. It's because we constantly complain in our marriage. We are constantly blaming each other. We cannot sit down to agree on anything. We need to relook at ourselves and ask ourselves, what is it that we are complaining about that cannot be solved in any other way other than complaining or blaming each other? Because complaining and blaming your spouse about anything and everything will not make them better. Mistakes are human. No human being on this earth has not made a mistake and will not make a mistake. But complaining and blaming does not help or does not solve anything. We need to make each other better. And the only way to make each other better is to stop complaining and stop blaming your partner or your spouse. In a family where complaints and blame games are the order of the day, the couples are emotionally drained and frustrated. The two of you cannot even sit down to solve issues, to resolve anything. Because the more you resolve, the more frustrated you become. The more you resolve, the more angry you become. Because issues that happened many years ago will still come back to the fore. Instead of moving forward, you're still solving issues that you already solved many years back. Constant complainers stop focusing, because the complaints and the blames are counterproductive. You don't think positively. You don't focus. You lose focus. You don't think about building your marriage. You don't think about anything developmental. It is just always constant blaming. If not for you, I would have done this. If not for you, the cycle continues, just blaming each other, complaining about everything, and you do not move forward. You stagnate in your family. Constant complainers never appreciate each other, because you never see anything good in your spouse. Anything your wife does can never be good. When we constantly complain and blame our spouses, we make them look unattractive, or there's nothing sexy about your partner. Sex is a vital part of marriage. It is very vital in marriage. When you constantly blame each other and complain about each other, even the sexual urge cannot be there. In a marriage with constant complaints and blame games, spirituality level is very low, because the husband and the wife cannot come together to pray. So your faith goes down, and prayer is essential in marriage. So if we cannot pray, and that is the foundation of marriage, then our marriage is going to the dogs. And even if any of you kneels down to pray to God, I can tell you, you pray for your desire to happen, not God's will. You are praying for God to fulfill your own will, which can never happen. In a marriage of complainers, they're always angry over everything. They're always stressed and can even end up getting to depression. One reason why complaints and blame games occur in families or among couples is just because of expectations. When you set your expectations too high and they are not met, definitely you will blame your spouse or you will blame your partner. So we need to know how to manage our expectations, because on this earth, not all your expectations will be met. Like it, you don't like it, go to heaven, come back on earth. Not every expectation that you have will be met. Life also has its own paths. You can have this expectation, but life will bring this to you. So we need to be able to manage our expectations and be able to deal with things that life brings to us. Many people do not know they even complain, or they are perpetual complainers. So how do you know that you're a perpetual complainer? You do not consider your complaints as complaining. You see them as, this is reality. This is how it is. Number two, when you get stuck on something, it keeps on coming back. What I talked about earlier. Problems that were solved many years ago keep on recurring year after year, month after month. A perpetual complainer does not know how to handle compliments. Even if they do a good thing and you compliment them, they do not know how to handle it. They are generally irritable. Anything small irritates them. You can't even make a joke. You make a joke, they get irritated. Now, how do you live in such a house? It becomes very hard. A perpetual complainer keeps comparing him or herself to others who they think are doing much better than them. Constant complainers or perpetual complainers, they consider themselves perfectionists and are vocal about it. Constant complainers always assume that people take advantage of them. And finally, constant complainers always play the victim. It's really ironical that we keep on blaming each other. We keep on complaining about what we do in marriage, but we stick in that we keep on complaining and blaming each other, but we are stuck in that marriage.